Hey guys, Lowell Tech Fix here, and I am in the studio today with...
My name's Jameson, and I'm the foreman at Amerifix Franklin.
What's your last name, Jameson?
Stinnet.
Stinnet. I knew I was going to get it wrong, so I was going to make him say it. All right, so hey, I wanted to bring Jameson in here today because, number one, he's a good guy. He's one of our solid company foremen, and he has some challenges. And I wanted to get to know, because I think it's always interesting to hear people's stories. So you started wrenching professionally when?
So I went to Nashville Auto Diesel College fresh out of high school in 2004, graduated in 05, and then went straight to the lube rack at the Dodge dealership, the local dealer.
Oh, okay.
So spent a little bit of time there, about a year and a half or so. Went and worked at a performance shop that turned out to be a chop shop. That's another story. Went back to the dealership. Then I went back into the high performance world at a reputable company, spent about 5 years there. Learned how to make things go fast. Learned that there's no money in that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then went to a local shop here in town for about 5 years, and I was their diesel guy there. And then did my own thing for a few years, and then started with this company in 2020, the week of COVID.
Okay. So, that's funny, because I started with this company the week of COVID.
Okay, March 16th was my first day.
I can't remember the exact date, but I will say this. So I flew up here from Texas for an interview, went back through Houston, right? So like this was like that week. So I came back on like Tuesday or whatever. They sent me the job offer on Wednesday. I signed it, and that Friday was when they started shutting down the country.
Yeah.
And then I came back sick. Like I went back to Texas, like out to Austin, like, and they were all talking like, "Oh, we think it started at the Houston airport." I'm like,
it's not me.
Yeah, it wasn't me, but it makes sense. But okay, so you've been here the same time as I've been, so
Yep.
for the bigger company, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Fix Group. But
yeah.
Okay, so how did it come to fruition that you became shop foreman for? Is it Eurofix, Amerifix, Autofix? What are we calling it over there now?
Well, officially we're Amerifix now. It's in my brain, it's still Autofix. Probably always will be, but hopefully I'll grow out of that eventually. But started out with Autofix, and Phil, he was the foreman over both sides of the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Phil Quillen.
Yep, Phil Quillen. He was the double foreman, and it was a lot on him. And he told me that he felt like in order for Autofix to grow, he needed to step out of the way and make room for me. Mm-hmm. So, and I've been trying to uphold that ever since.
So let me ask you a couple questions about that. What do you perceive are your main duties as a shop foreman?
Oh, there's so many. Some days I'm a counselor. Most days I'm, managing workflow, auditing tickets, keeping an eye on, the red flags in the shop, things like that. If somebody gets jammed up on a really hard problem that they need guidance on, I'm there for that. A lot of what I do is communication with the advisors, making sure that they understand what they're selling, because not all technicians possess the level of communication to help an advisor understand what they're selling. So that's where I come in a lot.
It's funny, we teach that in our foreman certification program, which you've been through, correct? Mm-hmm. So that's the very first chapter in that book is what we call the story. And that's, I think, probably one of the most important things that a foreman can do, other than, train and support your team in the back of the house, is be that translator. Because here's the thing, most comebacks, this is where they start, right? Most missed opportunities, this is where they start, and what we call, like I said, the story. Like if the technician doesn't understand what the customer's concern is, because we didn't get enough information, the advisor didn't understand it well enough, was cutting corners, didn't take the time to say it only overheats during then that not only costs the technician a lot of time, because now he's out test driving, he's running it in the bay, he doesn't know that it only overheats after second startup or whatever the situation is. So you have to kind of catch it from that end. And then also, if you have a younger technician, I was just talking about this the other day, consistent inspections every car, every time. Like if you don't have that, then as a foreman, you have to fill in the gaps. Because one of the exercises that we do with foremen is I'll bring in a scenario car and I'll say, write this up as a C-Tech, right? And then they'll write it up, and of course it's just front tires of all has a leaking rack and pinion. Recommend 2 tires in a rack, right? Not 2 tires in a rack and a flush and an alignment, right? Like a B-Tech would. And then, like there may be on top of that ADOS calibration or whatever that a tech or master tech might recommend. So not only are you, and I say this, you give the same car to 5 different technicians, you're going to get 5 different inspections back. So it's your job to fill that gap. So not only are you filling the gaps on the advisor end, so your technician doesn't waste as much time and gets to the problem a lot quicker, you're filling the gaps on the technician end. Because ultimately, as technicians, we're not really here to fix cars. I mean, we will, because cars are going to break, but we're here to keep cars on the road. And, I get a lot of flack for that in the community because people are like, oh, this guy wants to turn everybody into a Jiffy Lube. Not true.
No.
If I come into your shop and I start seeing your hours per car go north of 4 hours, 5 hours, then I know you're not inspecting cars properly. Because your same customer base is coming back without their vehicles being repaired or maintained, and now they're breaking down.
Yeah.
And that's a disservice to everybody, right? Like your technicians are frustrated because they're working on broken cars. Your customers are frustrated because they have broken cars. So like being a foreman, you got to kind of take all of that into consideration, realize like this one thing that seems so, I wouldn't say arbitrary, but like mundane is so important in what you do. Like directing that conversation in that traffic. And that feels like a pretty good place to land today, man. Hey, I want to thank you for coming over and talking with us, and I really appreciate it. I'd love to have you back sometime.
Thank you for having me. This is my first, and it's not as bad as I expected it to be.
Thank you so much for sharing today, and thanks for listening or watching today. If you like, hit the subscribe button down below, and then we'll be talking to you soon, Jameson. And until the next time, fix the cars, you fix the shop.